Hi, this is John from Sharp Mountain Games, and in our video today, I'm going to give you a nuts and bolts demonstration, start to finish, how I do solo role-playing. So you can see exactly the gear that I use and exactly how I do things, and we'll do that right after the intro. So maybe you want to get started with solo role-playing. You want to have some extra gaming alongside your regular face-to-face games, which I think is a great way to go about it. But you don't know where to start. So today I'm going to go through just several scenes from a little Star Wars scenario to show you how I do it and exactly what happens. Now, you'll also get a chance to see my streamlined Star Wars rules in action. And I also use something very similar for Star Trek. Now, again, personal take is that simpler rules are much better for online and solo play. Just, you don't want to, if you're running several characters solo, be fighting with a heavy rule set. Now, obviously, you use whatever you're most comfortable with. I mean, if you know a rule set inside and out and feel like you can handle it, that's fine. But for me, and I think for most people, streamlined, simplified rules are a better way to go. So as I said, it's going to be a short Star Wars scenario, and it's going to be theater of the mind. So if you're working in the garden or you're cleaning up your kitchen, you can just put me on in the background and imagine what's going on. I really did think about putting up some tokens and scenery in Roll20, but I really want you to see nuts and bolts what I do, at the table. Now, I usually write in a journal, but for today, I'm going to write on a piece of paper on the desk, just because I think it'll be a little easier for you to see and to follow what I'm doing. So let's go to the table. So you can see I just have a piece of paper and I just have it taped to my desk here so it doesn't move around. I usually use a journal, but I didn't think that would work too well for this kind of video. Now I've got my character cards, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see them here, but you can see I have basically 8 attributes which act as broad skill groups rather than having like 6 attributes and then a ton of skills underneath. For me, simpler is better for solo. And then over here to the right, for example, this is an untrained Jedi, so sort of a Luke Skywalker type, and he has 2 Force abilities, and I have them under there. Now, this is a D20 roll under, so if he wants to use the Force, he's got to get a 14 or less on a D20 and some gear in the bottom. Now, I'm going to lay these out, and you can see them. You may not be able to see them. I'll just have them up here at the top. And when you can, give them a name. Now, I'm going to use the name that my players used when we played through this particular scenario face-to-face, or it was online. So Jome was our untrained Jedi. Then we have a scoundrel who's the Han Solo type, and his name is Phaeriss. And this is where I'll keep track of their hit points as we go on. We've got a Wookiee mechanic. Obviously we're really playing to the types here from Star Wars out of Chawa. And then we have our protocol droid, CSP1. And I know I'm not going through these cards, totally in detail. It would just take too long. I mean, I think that would be a separate video, as they say. Okay, now I have somewhere that I'm going to write. I have my adventure. Now, these are my adventure notes. You do not need this to solo role play. Let me just say that again. You don't need it. But if you do have either an adventure you wrote or you have an adventure from a book you want to run, great. And don't be afraid to change anything. You don't have to run it exactly as written. But you might just have, a couple ideas. Oh, I think this is going to happen, and then maybe that happened, or this scene might lead into that scene. But leave yourself flexibility for what the dice do. Speaking of the dice. So I have 4 different color dice, and I go with the rainbow, Roy G. Biv. So every time I roll a red, it's for Jome, our untrained Jedi. It just goes in this order. That way it doesn't ever mess me up. Now, and then I have a couple of D6s for damage and such like that. And if I need a D4 for anything, I'll just roll a D6, and if it's a 5 or 6, I'll re-roll it. And I'll probably just use these same dice for my any opponents also as I need to. Now, I have a dice tower here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it too well. Let's see. So I can roll a whole bunch of dice at once. And I'm just going to keep that off to the side now so that it's not in the way. But, you'll be able to at least see my dice roll. And, this isn't the perfect setup. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep track of the hit points along the bottom here to keep that out of the way. You don't need a dice tower. Absolutely, you don't need a dice tower. I don't want you to spend money you don't have to spend Just a cup. This happens to be a dice cup, I think, from a Yahtzee game. But any old cup will do. You know, just get a plastic cup from the kitchen or a empty yogurt cup. You may want to wash it out first. But that works just as well for rolling your dice. In fact, maybe we'll use that. I think that might be easier to see. Okay, so we can get started because I do want to keep this video to a reasonable length. I don't want to be taking up, too much of your time. So what I do is I have, okay, this is the briefing. This is what they learned before they left. So they're going to investigate rumors of a Jedi who survived Order 66, and he's supposed to be on planet Ajaba 3. And the only hint they have is they know that he's healer, that's what he goes by. He helped out a rebel pilot, years and years ago. So, or not too long ago. So that's why they're going there. So let's try a role-playing scenario. So let's say trying to land. And I'll try to write fast, maybe not too neat, but you can see. But this is the way I keep my notes, just bulleted lists. So they're approaching Ajaba 3, and they're trying to land. And of course, they get the call from the planet's surface, and they are surprised to see an Imperial ship, a picket ship, a small ship orbiting the planet. So they hear over the intercom that Captain Perez asks them to state their intentions. So what's going to happen is Phaeriss, who's our scoundrel, so that's the second one, the yellow dice, he's going to try and con them. So he's going to say, let's see, Phaeriss. Sometimes I put a box around the player characters just so I know. Tries to con the officer. And his charisma is 14. Oh, but he gets an advantage to con because he's a scoundrel. He's used to lying. So I'll roll 2 dice here. And let's see. Yep. Oh, in fact, they both worked. So he tells them, that they're landing and they're just traders and they're here to buy some of the local wines that they want to take back to trade with other parts of the galaxy. And that seems to go well. So they're able to land the ship. And I actually had a couple other encounters where they ask around town and they talk to one of the farmers. But they get a lead as to where this healer might be. That he's somewhere, he lives way out in the wilderness, and he only comes into town, maybe a few times a year. So as I said, there's more to this. And if I was playing this with a group or even solo, I might, write down some more of those role-playing encounters. Okay, so let's say on the road. So they are trying to go out to find out where Healer lives. And let's see, there's a challenge here along the road, a roadside encounter. And let's see if our Jedi can figure anything out. So he's using the Force, and Jome's Force skill is 14 there. So let's see if he detects anything. He's the red die. 8. Okay, so he detects that there are 2 fairly large creatures that are approaching them. So these creatures will not be able to get any surprise. And maybe I'll make a note of that. Jome detects creatures. Sometimes when I'm writing for myself, I do write more detail. And the reason for that is, I think when you're playing solo, it's kind of like a journaling exercise or a creative writing exercise. And also it lets me have maybe a little better record than this. Because oftentimes, if I make something up or I try it solo, then sometimes what I can do is I can write it up and keep it or use it with groups. I've absolutely done that. It works great. You could think of it as a play test. I don't do it all the time, not for every scenario, but once in a while I do. Okay, so we've got to roll for combat. We got to roll for initiative. I use group initiative. I know that that's weird maybe or going to seem different for modern players, but it works just fine. And it keeps things moving for solo role play. So I got a 2, and the way I do the rules, 1, 2, 3, the players go first. 4, 5, 6, the monsters would go first. If you do want to do an individual initiative, cards work great because then you can just move them around and put them in the order that the people go in. Or if you're using character sheets, if you're playing something a little more robust, like I played through the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, what you can do with that is, just put them in order. And then you kind of do have to keep flipping the charts. But okay, first person initiative's on the top, second on the next, and so on. So let's play through a little combat and see where things take us. So I've got 2 Sith monsters. I'll do Sith Monster 1 has 40 hit points. And so does Sith Monster 2, 40 hit points. And let's see, Jome has 30. I do 3 times fitness. I actually did 2 times fitness for Star Trek, because in Star Trek, you're not supposed to be picking a fight too often. But this is what I have on these character cards, so that's what we'll go with. And the players are going to go first. And I mean, they see these things approaching, and I think they're just going to do straight up combat. Here's where it's quick. I've got all 4 dice in my cup. Dump them all. Let's see. Jome got a 7. Our scoundrel got an 18. Our mechanic got a 20. And our protocol droid got a 17. So really, since 14 is the highest for anybody, only one of them hit. So these folks did not hit, if they got out their blasters to fire. Jome does have a blaster. He doesn't have a laser sword just yet. So he does 5 points of damage, and I'll just take it off the first one. Okay, now it's the monster's turn. Now, sometimes they might have special abilities and such, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple for this demo. So I'm just going to take 2 of the dice. It doesn't matter which 2. Now, their combat skill is a 12. Oh, neither of them hit. So the PC's lucked out this time. Now, let's see what happens this time. I think that maybe our Jedi and maybe our protocol droid are going to try and use their heads, because obviously the protocol droid doesn't have a blaster. You never see 3PO firing at things. So let's see if we can use these mechanics a little bit differently. So let's shake them up and see what happens. Ooh, we got some good rolls here. 5, 2, 5, and 4. So everybody succeeded. See how fast that is? I've used the D6 system, like where you're rolling 3D6 and you have to add, much slower. This is much quicker and smoother for this kind of play. So what our Jedi is going to do is he's going to try to plant a suggestion in the creature's mind. Now, I'm going to assume these things have force, maybe let's say 10. So let's see if that worked. Ooh, I don't know if you can see that. That's a 12. So he plants a suggestion. The Jedi plants a suggestion in the creature's mind. Oh, you're going to go off. You're going to go off into the woods and leave us alone. And let's say that works. So I'll make a note here. Jome uses the Force to send the monster away. And of course, I had pictures of these monsters. They were kind of like crab-like scary monsters. Now let's see. Oh, looks like our scoundrel hit, and looks like our mechanic hit. So our scoundrel does 5 points of damage to the monster, takes him down to 35. I'll just cross this one out since that one went away. And our Wookiee does 7 more, 28. So I would do, maybe at a certain point, once they start losing too many hit points, as the GM or the DM, I might decide or do a little roll to see if they run away. Now, what our protocol droid's going to do, he has no weaponry, and, he's a pacifist. But what he's going to do is try and use his, we'll use repair. He has a repair of 12, so that's pretty good. And he got a 4, so that's well below that. He's going to use his repair and his computer knowledge to try and send out like a really annoying signal that's going to distract the beast. And with a 4, I think he does that. So then we're going to say that the beast for this round acts at disadvantage. For this simple system, I use advantage and disadvantage for things. It works really, really smoothly. On average, it's like adding a +3 or a +4 to things. So let's have him attack at disadvantage. So much fun to hear him rattle around. And let's see what happens there. Oh, he does hit. Yeah, he does hit even at disadvantage. 2 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see who he attacks. 4. He bangs into our protocol droid. Luckily, only 2 points of damage. Oh, but the protocol droid has all that armor on, and that absorbs, the metal armor from his plating. That absorbs 3 points. So it really looks like we're going to have Easy time of things here. And I think Joe our Jedi is going to try that suggestion again. It works so well, he's going to try it again. And also, even if you want to, I'll show you this. If you have a ton of dice, if you're one of those, dice goblins like me, what you could do is, okay, you could even roll, all right, if our Wookiee and our scoundrel hit, let's put them in there. And we can roll the dice at the same time. Oops, I got to re-roll that because it was on top of something. So let's see what happens. Yeah, Jome is able to put that suggestion in the monster. And let's see, our scoundrel hits for 11. That takes him down to 17. See, if you use the different colors, it really helps. But don't feel like you have to buy a lot of dice. Just use the dice you have. Adichawa is 14. His combat is only 10. He misses. And the protocol droid is still trying that, scary sound thing. But since Jome succeeded, we're going to say this other beast, took the suggestion and wandered off. So you can see a little combat there. And also I think it's, because the system is so light, it's very flexible if you want to try something other than, just firing back and forth and all that. So this encounter wasn't too bad. I think my players, the dice didn't go their way as well as they did for me. So let's do just one little short scene here, just for one more thing, because I do want to show you. So now they're going to get to Healer's Cottage. So they travel through the wilderness, and they find Healer's Cottage. They find a little cabin in the woods. However, when they get there, they find that it's been ransacked. The door's off the hinges, and things are thrown around. So Adichawa is going to try and sneak up and see what he can see. And I guess that'll be fitness. No, he's not too stealthy. He makes a lot of noise, as you might expect a Wookiee would. However, he's lucky because there is no one in the house. And they find the journals. They find some drawings that they think Healer did. In fact, several portraits of a woman. And that was a little something I was thrown in maybe for later. And what he finds is there's a labor droid who has had her head knocked off. Now, the way I'm going to do that one is it's going to take 2 out of 3 rolls to repair it. And our Wookiee mechanic, let's see what his repair is. 14. Now, you might say, well, why not just do 1 roll? 2 out of 3 reflects that, he's got to do this, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And, in fact, maybe I'm looking, our protocol droid also has repair. So let's see if our protocol droid, what happens there. Yeah, our protocol droid gets a success, so he's going to help. We'll have our Wookiee mechanic try the other, a 19 and a 1. And yeah, the 19 doesn't work, but we got 2 out of 3. So they're able to repair the labor droid. And the labor droid is able then to tell them what happened, that there were people who came and took Healer away, but he thinks he knows where they took him. So that would be the next part of this adventure. So today we got to see several different types of encounters, role play and combat and kind of a puzzle encounter. And I really hope that you enjoyed this deep dive into the process, and maybe that gives you some ideas. And also, if there's anything that I forgot or something that you do differently, please let us know down in the comments below. I think that'd be great. So please like and subscribe, wear your sunscreen, eat more vegetables and eat more fruits and all that sort of thing. But just in general, take care. And you can listen and hear what else we have from Sharp Mountain Games. And we'll see you real soon. So here at Sharp Mountain Games, we have a few adventures in print, such as The Star Mermaid, The Dwarven Pickup Truck, and The Sky Tree, and you can check those out at Amazon, Lulu, and drivethrurpg. Also over on drivethrurpg, we have a number of other adventures and character classes, and even some stock art. On Roll20, we have some map packs and character cards, so you can check those out if you're interested. And as always, please like and subscribe, and we hope to see you again real soon.